So, the value consultant. Thank you for joining us on the channel today. I'm really excited to have a chat with you, primarily to talk about the uranium sector.
Yes.
It has been a pretty hot sector the last couple of years. I don't know too much about it, so I'm very grateful that you want to give a little explanation to us. But before we get into that, would you like to introduce yourself, what your channel is, what you do, and what you look at?
Yeah, I'm just a guy with a YouTube channel talking about uranium. I live in the Netherlands, in the east part of the Netherlands, and I'm a senior consultant with a software company, and I used to travel all throughout the country. But since COVID, I'm also allowed to work from home, so I've got much more time on my hands. So I needed a hobby, and I was always interested in like gold and silver and precious metals and that kind of stuff, and stocks and mining. I heard in 2020 an interview with Willem Middelkoop, who's a famous Dutch guy. He was a photographer, but he was also a business analyst, a journalist on TV, and he was how do I say that? He wasn't always popular with his colleagues because he had specific ideas about markets, and he thought different. That's what I liked about him. And he mentioned in 2020 something about uranium. Um, and it was about next gen, and that's what we talked before we started the interview. Also about next gen, he mentioned next gen, and I was listening to that interview, and it was only like 30 seconds about uranium, and I thought to myself, uranium, what the heck is that? And can you invest in uranium? And so yeah, the seed was planted, and it was growing. To be a big tree now. So I started to read more and look up interviews and made some connections in the industry. Very nice people who just are going to talk to you, so you can just email or call a director of a company, and he will reply, no problem, all over the world. So yeah, and I bought my first stocks in 2020. And I love the uranium story and the thesis and everything around it, also around nuclear energy,
Mhm.
that much that I decided to create a YouTube channel. And nobody in the Netherlands talks about uranium, so that's my kick. The only Dutch YouTube channel that talks about uranium, that's me. So I'm been on YouTube for 2.5 years, so 3 years now. Mostly about uranium, but also about other mining stocks, copper. I really like the copper story also, but also gold, silver, platinum, oil, especially now, shipping, you name it. And I'm having fun doing what I do, and so just create more content. That's the story.
Yeah.
But before I made a presentation, so I'm going to talk about uranium a lot, and I like it a lot. But people have to know it's a bit of a disclaimer. I'm just a guy with a YouTube channel who talks about uranium, and I'm going to talk about stocks and I'm talk about stuff why I love uranium, but I'm also a bit crazy
Mhm.
because I'm in uranium. You have to be crazy to be in uranium.
Of course. Yeah, you have
It's
to be
very
crazy.
volatile. It goes
Yeah.
up 18%, then down 15, and you silver guys, you think you've seen it all with the ramp up in January, but that's our common day. We don't know any better. It's typically uranium. So small market, very volatile, but because it's small, it gives great oversight.
Mhm.
There are not like 300 companies or so.
I
It's
guess that we are
pretty
gonna
easy to
go.
follow.
I guess we are gonna go into how big the market exactly is, but I guess that every Dutch investor in the precious metal space knows Middelkoop.
Yeah.
It's a very
Yeah.
popular guy in the Netherlands. Probably a lot of
Yeah.
people from America watching right now. If you don't know Willem Middelkoop, he's a Dutch fund manager who's primarily focused on gold and silver investing, like resource
Yeah.
investing, but it's very unique to do this in the Netherlands. It's a very small
Yeah.
country. Not a lot of people are investing in quote unquote alternative investments like this. So yeah, the only channel that does it in Dutch for uranium.
Yeah.
But yeah, of course, good disclaimer. Don't listen to any of us when we talk about stocks, because generally that is a very silly idea to listen to people on the internet for stock
Yeah,
advice.
don't just blindly buy what we are talking about.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a mistake for sure.
All right, you want to dive into the presentation? I'll
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
put in the.
Share my screen here.
Yep, you can share it.
There you go. Okay.
Yes,
Can you
perfect.
see my screen? Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, why I love uranium oh so much, because I can yeah, I can go on a rant for 4.5 hours about uranium, no problem. But that's not what your viewers are waiting for. So
Well,
I made a
maybe.
presentation just to make it a bit yeah, scalable and easy to understand. Okay, let's go. So we have to look at the time frame. And funny enough, it all started with an oil crisis in the 70s. Well, doesn't that sound familiar? An oil crisis.
I have never
And
heard of one
in the
before.
70s, there were big problems on the oil side, and governments and other people decided to look into alternative energy sources. And nuclear energy was beginning to be very popular in the 70s. So there was a big ramp up of the power plants, the builds from for the nuclear power plants, and everything was going like crescendo for uranium and for nuclear energy. But then in 1997, an accident happened at 3 Mile Island. It was in Pennsylvania, I believe, from the top of my head. Yeah, I'm sure. And it also says here the public confidence is hit. There were no casualties, but people got scared, and that's one of the most interesting things about nuclear energy. It has a lot of pros, but people still don't understand the value. Because they are scared, it's going to be disaster, and you can't see it, you can't touch it. It's in the air, and it's all spooky. A lot of mismanagement around that story. A lot of bad publicity hype from the Greenpeace guys and those folks. Funny enough, I think they should be pro-nuclear, but they aren't. Very strange. Yeah, please think about that, the Greenpeace friends. So in the end of the 70s, yeah, it all tumbled down, but it didn't disappear. And through the 80s and the 90s, there was a big revival, and there was also a lot of supply. Uranium is mining, just like copper or zinc or silver. It has to come out of the ground. It has to be sold. It has a certain price. You have to make a profit to get it out of the ground. And from 1993 till 2013, we had the megatons to megawatts program. It's about the dismantling of the nuclear warheads, which are highly enriched uranium. It's very high enriched uranium, and you don't need that for a power plant. You can lower the enrichment, so you have to convert it a little bit. A lot of material and a lot of supply. I mean, a ton of supply. So, what happened? If there's a lot of supply, this is very important, nobody invests anymore in mining, because the uranium was coming from the warheads and not out of the ground. So everything like flatlined in the mining business, uranium-wise. A lot of people went away. They were going to mine copper or zinc or cobalt or I don't know what, something else, not uranium. All the people with skills disappeared. Very important. A big problem now because we don't have the people who know what to do. How do you mine uranium? It's dangerous. It's very different than other mining. You have to have a certain skill package to do it.
Yeah.
And all those people, they disappeared. And there aren't coming any new guys and girls from college because mining isn't sexy. No, it's not ChatGPT or something like that. It's mining. You're gonna get dirty, and nobody wants that anymore.
Yeah.
So we had until 2013, 2015, the megatons to megawatts program, a lot of supply, but also a lot of building of the nuclear power plants. So a lot of new plants, and the stock market in uranium came in a pretty good bull market. Yeah. And remember this is very different than today. There was still an oversupply. Yeah. There was no shortage back then. Still the stocks went up. Yeah. And we had it's not in the PowerPoint, but we had a flooding of Cigar Lake, one of the biggest mines of uranium in the world. And that mine was halted for like 2 years or so, a big flooding, and that ramped up the stocks until 2011, and then Fukushima happened. The earthquake and tsunami in Japan, and the power plant in Japan that blew up. And the reason why it blew up wasn't because the plant in itself wasn't safe. It was because the backup generators were in the basement and not on a hill. So the power plant shut itself down, and that's the way it works. It's a safety mechanism. So it shut itself down, and the backup generators keep delivering power to the systems, and then everything is fine. But they put this stuff in the basement. The flooding came. The generators were full of water, and the cooling wasn't there anymore, and the thing went higher in the sky, and everybody could see it. It was on TV. So
a lot more
Japan and Germany all stopped with nuclear energy. Nuclear is bad. It's it's worse. But yeah, actually, it was a kind of a human error. Small Island was a human error. I didn't even mention Chernobyl in Ukraine in '86 was also a human error, and Fukushima was also a human error. There was no problem with the power plant itself.
Right.
And then COVID happened, 2020, and then you see some kind of, we call it a nuclear renaissance, because especially China, but also India, is massively ramping up their programs to build nuclear power plants. And you need fuel for the power plants, and that's uranium. And the megatons to megawatts program has ended. So the secondary supply is lower, and there's no supply primary from the mines, because no new mines are open today. Only existing mines deliver, and they are ramping up more supply. But mining is hard. Things go wrong. How do I tell this? Not one company is hitting the deadlines.
Right.
Everybody is too late and too little. Yeah. If a company says, in 2030 we are delivering like 15 million pounds, it will not happen. It will be in 2035, 10 million pounds or 5 million pounds. Yeah, and that's always the message. It's always, it's a disappointment. It's a disappointment. Every single time. Because mining is hard.
Hmm.
But
And
there is a lot of demand, and a lot of demand, and the problem is on the supply side.
and you said that the uranium market is pretty small in itself. And I
Yeah.
can understand that when you're mining uranium, of course, it's also a geopolitical um, resource. You don't want countries
Also, yeah.
to get too much uranium to start making bombs and those kind of things. Is there a
Yep.
clear overview of the supply and the demand dynamics in the uranium market?
Yep. Yeah, I will come to that in the
Alright.
in the later half of the sheets.
Alright.
Yeah.
And what I
Okay,
also
but this is the timeline that you
yeah.
need to know. So we had a lot of oversupply in the 90s and the 2000 and the 2010s because of this program. But it's all going away now, or it is already. Everything is away. So
Yeah.
now we might going to see a problem for the nuclear utilities because where is the uranium coming from?
Yeah. And what is
That's going
also
to be
pretty
interesting.
interesting is to see that the general wave in the uranium market kind of tracks the wave in gold as well, because the gold bull market started in about 2001, went all the way to 20 or to 2007, dipped down, went up till 2011, and then it came down too. And we see, of course, that gold and silver have started their next leg in the bull market. So that is kind of also a positive backdrop for this entire story about uranium, because it kind
Yeah.
of tracks, the general commodity bull run that we are already in. So that is
Yeah,
positive.
I hear what you're saying, but I think uranium and nuclear energy, but especially uranium, is still a story at itself.
Hmm.
It has its own dynamics, which are not in the copper play or the gold or silver. Um, um, I will go to the next slides, and maybe
Yeah,
you will we come back to that at the end of the presentation.
perfect.
Okay, so we had the 70s oil shock and the Arab oil embargo and the Iran revolution. It's pretty much the same situation we're in right
Hmm.
now. Yeah, and after that there was a huge ramp up in nuclear energy, also from the political side. Yeah, there's a lot of new rules. So oil crisis in the 70s, we need more than oil. What is also a good idea? Oil crisis now, same outcome. Hey,
Hmm.
yeah, maybe it'd be interesting this. So then we had 3 Mile Island. On March, there was an accident. Nobody died, but it was very, very important, especially in the United States, for the public view on nuclear energy. Everybody was afraid, and certain parties jumped onto that. There are movies about it.
Hmm.
It was just tip from my side. Watch them, but it was it wasn't pretty. So no casualties, losing public confidence, no political strong backbone. That's
Hmm.
always the case.
Yep.
Uh, po- Politics is a problem for nuclear energy because it takes too long to build a power plant. It takes like, I don't know, like sometimes 20 years because it's full of regulation. Um, yeah, and the political horizon is like 4 years or maybe two.
Right.
So what's in it for the politicians to make a point about nuclear energy?
Yep.
Because when it is coming online, they are already gone
Yep.
and they can't claim the success. It's all short-term success rate in politics, and that's a problem for nuclear energy, I think.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
the politicians said, yeah, nuclear, yeah, we're not going to do that anymore, so or less, or we're not. They didn't make their point to the public.
Yep.
And environmental organizations, that was their wet dream, because they couldn't jump on and say, hey, see, we had 3 Mile Island and nuclear is bad, and we're gonna break down that dream. That's
Hmm.
really what they did. So we need more regulation, and if you have more regulation, you can go to court. Yeah, Because it says here, right here, and you're not doing what the rules say. So we're going to court. We're going to all drag it out, and yeah, it takes even longer. It's not
Yep.
12 years, but it's 22 years or 30 years.
And a lot of money
it's
too. It's a lot of years and a
a
lot of
lot of
money
money,
to
and
invest.
it's a total mess. So
Yep.
there are a lot of pros on the nuclear energy side, but this kind of things are a pretty big con, I believe.
Yeah, of course. And
Yeah.
it's a pretty capital intensive business, I can imagine, just as
Yeah.
any mining project is.
Yeah.
And of course, you need
Yeah.
confidence from big investors to start these
Yeah.
kind of projects. And if there's no political confidence, then nobody is going to try and push the limits to
Yeah.
go and start it.
Yeah. So
Very
it's
unfortunate.
that's the difficult part of nuclear energy. And you can watch Nuclear Now from Oliver Stone. He made a great movie about it, about 3 Mile Island and about nuclear energy. So if you have a rainy Sunday, just put this one on. So here's the megatons to megawatts snapshot. It's a bit blurry, but hey, I put it in anyway. So
Yeah.
you have and remember, the Soviets, so it was a deal between America and the Soviet Union. Yeah, remember this. So the Russians and the America made a deal. So it was about dismantling nuclear warheads, also in Russia, a lot of tons, and you have to bring down the purity of the uranium to put it in the nuclear power plant. They shipped it from Russia to America. America, of course, paid Russia. Yeah. So we are virtually at war with Russia. You guys in America. This is what happened earlier. So and I will come back to this because it's still a problem for United States. And it sells to customers and to the fuel plant. Did you get megawatts of electricity? So megatons to megawatts, and the homes and business and the industry, the lights will go on. That's what
very
that's
cheaply.
what happened here.
The lights will go on very cheaply. That is.
Yes, very cheaply, but also very reliable.
Yep.
There are a lot of pros for nuclear energy. So huge secondary supply, megatons to megawatts. It was a buyer's market. That's important to understand. The buyers were in control. Yeah. So if you working with a company and you have a uranium mine, and you want to sell your product, you don't in that conversation and negotiation, you are not on the winning hand. You're not on the upper hand. The buyers were on the upper hand because there was a lot of secondary supply. Lee, I will buy your uranium, but hey, I can go over there and maybe ask them what the price is, and if I like them more or the price is better, I will go to them. Yeah? So it was a buyer's market, totally different than today. It is a seller's market. Yeah, and I also think this is pretty dangerous to make a statement, but I think this time really is different for the uranium market. We never had a seller's market. Yeah? We always had oversupply of enough uranium, and now that's gone, and that's going to be a big problem for us. It's going to be a big opportunity. So utility buyers, it's also an important point to make, have no incentive to buy cheap. Yeah. So if you are a utility, uranium is only like 6% of the total cost of your power plant.
And a utility buyer in this case is a nuclear power plant, for instance.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. It's an energy company.
Yeah. It's only 6% of the input cost.
Yeah, it's not much. So they don't care if they buy like $20 per pound uranium or 60.
Yeah.
Or now the price is 85, but they also will pay 125.
And is it also true that let's say I own a uranium plant, right, somewhere in the middle of the desert, and the uranium price shoots up to, let's say, from 85 to like 150, I cannot use a different fuel for my plant, right? I have to use
Yep.
uranium. It's
You
not
have
that
to.
I can
No,
use
it's
any
not.
other
It's
different.
non-replaceable. You have to use uranium. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, very true. So they can't go anywhere else. They have to have uranium. But where's uranium coming from? But I will show that later on in the
Yeah. So the
presentation.
demand in that case, it's inelastic. That's
Yes.
right.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
But they are the utility buyers are used to the situation that there is oversupply.
Mhm.
You know, there in this uranium. That's why I like it so much. In this uranium nuclear energy story, there's a lot of psychology involved. Huh? The fuel buyers are not used to this situation, so how are they going to cope with this stuff? Yeah.
Yeah.
We have the public interest in nuclear energy. The half of the population says, yeah, it's very dense energy, it's reliable, it takes a small part of land instead of all those stupid wind farms uh, and solar plant fields, and it's all ugly.
Yeah.
Just give me a power plant, put it in my backyard. And the other half of the population said, no, 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 it's radiation, it's the leftover fuel of how do you call that? We call it afval and
Yeah.
the garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's dangerous, and we have to put it in the ground, and
Yep. And you have to
this
save
is
it up
so.
for like 20,000 years or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. There's so
Yep.
much polarization in this story that's so interesting.
Yep.
So that's also why I like it so much.
Yeah, and in some ways also a very big conversation that we're not having at all right now. I don't see, well, at least not in our political world, a lot of people pushing for uranium to be used as fuel, even though everybody is very
It's all too
focused.
little, too late. We are so
Yeah.
stupid. We should have, especially us in the Netherlands. Come on, we are such a small country. We
Yeah.
have a lot of water, so you have to cool the uranium reactor. You do that with water.
Yeah.
We should have like 12 power plants in the Netherlands, and we will all be fine.
Yeah.
Now we're all hassling about the gas in Groningen. We want it shut down. We have to reopen
Yeah.
because we can't import gas from
Yeah.
Russia. It's such a
Yeah.
shit show.
For everybody on the
The only thing we have to do is build 12 power plants,
and that's it. And then everybody
and
has
that's it.
power. Yep.
Yeah.
But instead
But
of
it
that,
costs too much money. But that's a good argument against it, and it takes too long.
Yeah.
Because of the regulations, and that's why politicians don't wholeheartedly stand for nuclear energy, because they can't wave the flag and say, hey, look at me, I arranged this. No, they will be long gone. Yeah. And other parties, especially in the Netherlands, because we have far too much political parties, but hey, that's a whole different rabbit hole I don't even want to go in. In 5 years, a totally different party has the power, and who knows what they want to do with nuclear energy. So, and that's why, just a little sidestep, that is why China, for instance, they are just building 10 power plants, nuclear power plants per year, because they have like a vision of 50, 80 years long. And that's, we have only one party. Okay, you can say that's also bad, but
things get done
gives
when you
them
only
the
have one
power
party.
to make those plans and to execute them.
Yep. And the thing is, of course, if you build, well, the costs are pretty high right now because we haven't built any power plants in a long time. But I bet if you make 10 of them and you understand what you're doing and you got a little bit of a plan going and you can, then the costs come down.
Design, that's also a con. So it takes too long. It's too costly. But there are also different designs. Just pick one and improve it. But no, the French have a design, the Americans have the design, the South Koreans have the design. Yeah, that's not efficient enough. Come on. Do you want to solve the energy problem or don't you? And that's a question that I'm asking myself more and more. Do people really want to solve this problem? And I'm scared of the answer, because I think it is no. Because if you solve the problem, especially if you go on the path of fusion or thorium or that kind of stuff, if you solve the energy problem, a lot of people will be out of business. Yeah. So there are all kind of powers in the background
Yep.
Hmm,
Oil was a lot of
interesting.
money. Yeah, of course. All of
Yeah,
these
it's
regulations make
about a
some
lot
people
of
very
money.
rich.
Yeah, yeah. So okay, let's go on with
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
otherwise we're gonna sit here for 4.5 hours. In the zeros, let's do this. There's a better technology. It was safer. We learned a lot. But so much rules and it takes so long. It takes so long. There was no shortage of enriched uranium. So there was enough uranium to put in your power plant. Japan, France, and US are leading in nuclear power. And then, then of course Fukushima happened. And everybody saw this. Oh, it blew up. There was a tsunami, and all the stocks went down. A total bear market from 2011 until 2019, 2020. Total bear
Sucked.
market. No one. It was complete zero. No one was interested in nuclear energy. No one was interested in uranium mining. No one has the knowledge anymore. All the guys that I know who are in business in uranium mining are, and I say that with a lot of respect, are dinosaurs.
Yep. That's what I say about the gold and
Uh,
silver market as well. They're all
yeah,
very old people. Yep.
old people, and now you see a bit of a transition because some guys are leaving. John Borshoff is leaving. Mark Chalmers is leaving. Who was the latest who went? Bill Sheriff from Encore, because they are 65 plus and they can't. Yeah, it's hard work, and they say, okay, I got a family now, it's enough, and we have to,
Yep.
transition to a younger generation. But where are those guys and girls?
Yep.
Ooh, that's gonna be interesting if they can deliver the quality the old guys did.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so Fukushima, nuclear disaster from an earthquake and tsunami, backup generators in the wrong place. Oh, yeah, that's yeah. Okay, we learned a lot. Yes, nuclear power is still safe because it's not really about the power plant. It was about the backup generators. But yeah, does everybody know this story? I don't think so. But Japan still shut down all nuclear power plants, and Japan had a lot.
Hmm.
Yeah, Japan has no resources. Yeah, so they have to import oil and gas and everything. So for Japan, nuclear energy was the key to energy and electricity.
Yeah. Well,
But
can you explain what happened in Fukushima with the backup generators, because that is not really clear to me. Like, how does a power plant work exactly in this scenario?
well,
And
well, I don't want to get too technical, but
Mhm.
a power plant creates a lot of heat, yeah, and it has to be cooled, yeah. And there's a difference between a running power plant and a power plant that is like shut off and in care and maintenance, yeah, in standby modus. And if it is in standby modus, it gets power from the backup generators, yeah, just to turn it a little bit and not get overheated. Because if you don't cool it enough, you don't run that program, yeah. Those pipes in the water, you know
Yeah.
it from the movies, yeah. It's all going to boil and all it's going to blow up, and that's
Right.
what happened in Fukushima.
Right.
So you have to place the backup generators in the right place, but they didn't. They put the backup generators in the basement. The water flew in. The backup generators, they shut down, and the power plant was heating and heating and heating and heating and
Right.
heated, and poof,
Right.
there it went. Yeah.
Okay.
And again, politics rule, not common sense, because you still can make the argument, hey, we need nuclear energy in Japan. It's stupid to quit. Nuclear energy on itself is safe. We did something wrong here because it's a human error. Yeah, it's not about the power plant; it's a human error. They put it in the wrong place. But yeah, of course, it was a terrible disaster, Fukushima and the tsunami. I really understand why politicians make these kind of choices, but it's it's what it is. So they exited the nuclear energy program for like what is it? 11, for like 10 years or so.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then slowly slowly, they became. There were coming new politicians in who said, well, maybe we have to start one nuclear reactor.
Right.
We got 15. Well, let's start one. Okay, and we start one, and then they start two, and then okay, and now and the public says, okay, we are fine with it again. Let's ramp up all the power plants, and we're on full speed now. So, and those power plants need uranium.
Right. And is that right now?
And
Right now, all the power plants are running again, or are they still in the
I
ramp-up
believe
phase?
almost all the power plants are running again.
Right. So we went from 0 to what is it, like 15-ish in Japan right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And a power plant needs uranium also in advance. So they buy uranium for, they want like a backup. They want for 2 or 3 years or maybe 4 years of uranium, so they can run the power plant for 4 years. That's how the cycle works. Yeah. Okay. So this is 2020 post-COVID. You see that the Green Deal doesn't work anymore, or not always. Huh? That's what I mentioned before. Windmills and solar energy. Yeah, there's more and more, especially the politicians, came to realize that there are also other alternatives who are maybe better, because you need a lot of windmills and a lot of solar plants to make it work. And
and a lot of batteries as well, because the wind and the solar power and the wind and solar energy, it's very
not reliable enough.
It's very unreliable.
Yeah. So we need carbon-free baseload power, and simply put it simply, that's nuclear power. Yeah. Because of the years of oversupply, so we already discussed that, there was a lack of investment in the mining. So yeah, it's there wasn't enough money to ramp up. Yeah. The secondary supply is less and less available because there's no primary supply from the mines, or there is primary supply from the mines, but there was also a lot of secondary supply. But now we have SPUT. Do you know what SPUT is?
That is the Sprott Uranium Trust, I believe.
Yeah, it's the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust.
Yeah.
And it's a trust that buys uranium, especially the secondary supply uranium, and doesn't sell it again into the market. So it only stores it. Yeah. Right. And you can buy SPUT. It's a share. You can buy shares. It's from Sprott, so you know Sprott from the gold and silver
Eric
market.
Sprott,
but they also in the uranium business. So SPUT bought a lot of uranium, and I'm at the top of my head, I don't know the numbers, but you're talking about like 35 million pounds or so, a lot. Yeah.
And what is the annual supply of uranium? Do you know that by chance?
No, not off the top of my head. And it's I have it in the sheet.
All right, perfect.
Somewhere.
So that we can see how much that is compared to the annual supply.
Yeah. And we have life extensions, so that's immediately a need of supply, because in different countries the nuclear power plants will run for like 60 years. Yeah, but
60.
60, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you make one power plant, you fuel it, and it runs for 60 years.
Yeah, 60 years. Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
So that's much better than all the windmills and the solar plants.
Yeah.
But 60 years is not the end. You can extend the life of a power plant. You can go to 80 years or 100 years, depending on the type of power plant and if it's still equipped to modern standards.
Yeah. All right.
In the end, it's getting too old and you have to get rid of it. But they extend because they can't build a new one fast enough. Yeah, and they need reliable carbon-free baseload power. So what's the easiest way? Well, we're gonna extend the power plant.
The existing. Are there power plants that have been running for that long right now?
There are power plants that are running
Wow.
for that long. Yeah, sure.
Wow.
Yeah. And these life extensions need immediate supply of uranium.
Mhm.
Yeah, because what I told you before, they have like 3 or 4 years backup supply. Yeah, but if you know that your power plant is ending to run in 2030, you're not going to buy uranium for to deliver power in 2031, 32, or 33. That
Right.
makes no sense.
Right.
So they don't until they get a 20-year or 10-year life extension. We have to buy new uranium again. So it's immediately putting pressure on demand.
Right. And structural pressure too for multiple years at a time.
Yeah.
So it's like
not going away.
Right.
Yeah. Also.
That's a very good thing in a market like this, that you have structural supply. That is structural demand. You can make quite easily a calculation how much power plants there are, how much uranium they need, how big the power plants are. They have to have some kind of reserve, and you know which mines there are in the world, and you can calculate how much they produce. It's very easy to do. Right.
Yeah. And it's a small market, so it's easy to oversee everything. And now we have, and that's fairly new, the data centers and the hyperscalers.
Yep.
Now you have Microsoft and Alphabet and all those guys with this kind of bags of money, throwing money at nuclear, because they say, hey, our data centers, we need carbon-free baseload power.
Yeah. Well, I do think that the data centers and the hyperscalers, they are just one of the coming players that need a lot of energy, because in a society, I believe that over time we always use more power the more advanced the society gets. And
True.
I feel like as a society we've been stagnant for a little bit. Now we get the hyperscalers, the AI, that is a new innovation, needs a lot of power. But potentially in the future, if we're going to do more manufacturing here, Trump is talking about whatever he wants to bring onshore in America, all of those things need power. And so the power consumption is only going to go up. So these data centers and hyperscalers are just one of the examples of a lot of things that can happen in the future for power consumption.
Yeah, true. And for the uranium thesis, we actually don't need the data center and hyperscaler story, but it's some sort of cherry on top.
Right.
But the difference is they have the money, and they don't have the patience.
Right.
That's very different.
Yep.
If you work at the government, you also have the money, but it's almost slow, and we have regulations. You don't gonna talk about that stuff with Elon Musk. You just said, hey, look at this. I need that power plant, and I need it for 20 years, and here's so much money you can dream of.
Yeah, didn't Meta buy a power plant?
Yeah. Yes. I think I have it in the sheet somewhere. Yeah. Yeah. And we have SMRs, and the SMRs are small modular reactors.
Right.
I personally think that's amazing,
Mm-hmm.
and I really hope this gets some traction in the world, because the big power plants take a lot of money. You need all sorts of you need to cool them. They have to be near the sea and all that kind of stuff. But a lot of tech companies are now building or investigating SMRs, small modular reactors, that you just put it in the factory. You're going to build 10 a day instead of 1 in 10 years or 1 in 20 years, a big one. So that's I think it's going to be the future. So totally different story from the 70s and the 80s. Totally different story, especially because of the secondary supply is less and less available. It's very, very important. Okay, so here we are. This is what you what you want to see.
Mm-hmm.
These are the uranium supplies, U308, in million of pounds. This uranium is measured in pounds, and you see here 2010, and right here we are now almost here. We are going to have some additional supply, but remember what I said before. This sheet is made on assumptions.
Mhm.
Yeah, on things that people say or put it out. Companies that have put out some numbers in papers. Yeah, sure, you can calculate it and make a beautiful graph like this, but not one uranium company is going to do what they say.
Mhm.
They always fail in some sort of way, not in time and not enough uranium. And that's especially a big story with NextGen, because NextGen Energy is the biggest deposit of uranium in the world. It's actually the biggest and best deposit of any commodity in the world.
Mhm.
Yeah? Doesn't matter what you throw at it. NextGen is still better because it's very, very pure uranium, very high grade uranium. They found a big deposit, and they can get it out of the ground reasonably cheap.
Mhm.
Yeah, so they are going to make a boatload of money.
Mhm.
But it will take time, and they have to have the permits. Now, okay,
Mhm.
they made some steps, but they changed their uh, forward-looking statements several times,
Mhm.
and I think they will not deliver in time. And they will deliver in the first 5 years, like between 25 million and 30 million pounds of uranium. That's a lot.
Mhm.
That's a whole lot. And if they don't execute their plans well, it will be a big problem. And I think that utilities are waiting for next gen,
Mhm.
also with their hands. So I think, oh, okay, well, everything will be fine because next gen will come online and they will deliver 28 million pounds in 2030.
So 28 to
Well,
30 million pounds, if we look at that on the supply right now, that would be a pretty sizable percentage,
that's a
like
big chunk. Yeah, that's a
10%
big chunk.
ish,
Yeah,
15% of
yeah.
the annual supply.
Yeah,
That
but
is a big.
you see here where we are going to get in trouble, because this is the demand.
Yeah, the
So
rising
the
line, that
demand
is
is
the demand.
rising and rising and rising and rising,
Yeah.
and there are no new mines. Actually, we need not one next gen. We need like 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, and next gen, that deposit was found in, I believe, from the top of my head, in 2012.
Mhm.
2012, Lee. Yeah,
I
and
got
it will
the.
come online perhaps in 2030.
If
Yeah,
everything
so
goes well.
if we
Yeah.
find another big deposit right now,
Yeah.
it's 2026. You have to wait like 10 years, and maybe we'll speed it up a little bit, but okay, let's say 8 years before it is a mine and comes out of the ground.
Yeah. And then we
That's
need to
all
train
too
all the
late.
people to go and work in it. Then we need all the regulations to work
Yeah,
out.
you
Then we
need
need
all the
all the
papers, all the
capital.
regulations. You need all the environmental stuff. You need it's also
Yep.
it's in Canada, in Saskatchewan. So you have the local tribes,
Yep.
the native Indians. You have to make agreements with them. It's
And you
all too
have
late.
to
It's all too late.
calculate in the fact that within those 10 years, there's going to be different rules at the end of the 10 years than there were at the beginning of it. So who knows? And the demand in this
Yeah,
picture, right? Because we just talked about Japan starting up a couple
yeah,
of their nuclear power plants. I know that Germany right now has zero. The Netherlands is also not
yeah.
building. America is also not building. So this demand kind of comes from, I believe, China and Japan, or are there
Mm,
different countries that also add a lot
Now,
of
don't
demand?
you're mistaken about the U.S. here. The US has a big problem, but I will come into that in the next sheet. But you're right about India and China. They are massively increasing their number of power plants. Yeah, massively increasing, and they are making the big deals also right now. So, and if they make the big deals about uranium, what's left for the rest?
Right. So this
It's
this
gonna be
the
interesting.
this demand picture is primarily focused on the Chinese and Indian demand side, and like for instance, if Europe, Canada, and America and all of the Western countries start to adopt nuclear as well in the future, and maybe if we're gonna make some more bombs at some point because the world is getting more unstable, the demand can rise in that aspect as
Now,
well, or is that
the
already kind of calculated in?
the demand isn't really the story. It's
Mhm.
the supply. What's the story? It's the supply. Because
Right.
you mentioned America. America has the largest fleet of nuclear power plants, more than Japan. Yeah, it's a big country. They have the largest fleet. Do you know how much uranium there is mined in the US last year?
Mm, I got no clue. I got
Ah,
no idea.
I think there's a sheet here. Well, let's go on.
Mhm.
But just remember this question. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. This is East versus West.
Yeah.
So here you see where the supply is coming from. And East versus West is a big story in the uranium world, because the biggest producers right now are in Kazakhstan. It's Kazatomprom.
Yep.
You have Canada, Chemico, and we mentioned NextGen. There's not a producer yet. And Denison Mines you mentioned. There's also Namibia with uh, how do they call Bannerman Energy made a big deal with the
Mhm.
Chinese. Australia, who actually have the largest reserves of uranium in the ground.
Mhm.
30% of the world reserves are in Australia. But
Wow.
hey, the Australian government isn't pro uranium or
Right.
pro mining or pro nuclear, so it stays in the ground and doesn't come out. Uzbekistan, Russia, you can forget about that.
Yeah.
Niger, there was a coup in Niger. They threw the French out, and Niger has Global Atomic.
Right.
Global Atomic is the mine, the first mine that will come online if everything goes according to plan. But hey,
Right.
there was a military coup. So if you had stocks in Global Atomic was the company that where people said about in 2020, hey, we are now at $1. This is going to 20, and you
Mm.
have to buy it, and a lot of people did. Okay, we came to $2.50, and then the military coup came in,
And then it
and
just.
your stocks were like 10 cents or so.
Yep.
It was a total shit show. So that's be careful in Africa. And I
Of
think
course.
Namibia is a great country. Yeah, it's totally different than Niger, but this is very, very dangerous. There's China, there's the US, and other. Okay,
Yeah.
so let me how do you call it? Samenvatten.
Yeah. Let me wrap it up.
Yeah, we make a summary here.
Yeah.
Let me wrap it up. Kazakhstan, east. Yeah? Canada, west.
Yeah.
Namibia, the Chinese are in Africa. So,
Yeah.
okay, let's make it 50-50. Yeah. Australia, west. Uzbekistan, east. Russia, east. Niger, east. China, east.
Yeah.
USA, do you know how much USA produces? That's
Yeah.
the red one here.
It's
You
barely
see,
even
they have the
visible.
largest fleet of nuclear power plants. They are producing like
Yep.
almost zero.
Yep.
The USA has a problem. You cannot believe it.
Yep.
They made this deal, megatons to megawatts, with Russia.
Right.
They are totally reliant on Russian uranium, also Russian enriched uranium, because Russia is the main enricher of uranium. You can't just take uranium out of the ground and in the power plant. That's not how it works. You need to convert it and enrich it. It goes through a process. Um, so
And those enrichment plans, of course, are mostly concentrated in Russia and I imagine China,
yeah,
because all the
yeah,
manufacturing and
true.
enrichment and
Also in the Netherlands, by
refining.
the way, you have
Oh yeah.
in the Netherlands, in a nearby me in Almelo, we have a company,
Oh yeah.
yeah, that
Cool.
that enriches uranium. But you see the problem here for the West. Huh?
Yeah.
East, well, okay, Africa, east, 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 east,
Yeah.
yeah, and then some.
So the story
And
is, in some sense, if there's a bridge between the east and the west, and the uranium is flowing primarily to China, then we are going to be left with no uranium and upcoming mines that take like 10, 15 years
correct,
to get up.
correct,
Yeah.
correct,
Is it then
correct.
also
There you
true?
have they have a part of the thesis right there. Yeah.
I know that this is also true for the silver and the gold market. A lot of commodities are like this because China has like a very long-term view, and
Yeah.
they've just taken over a lot of the different commodity markets. I know that
That's
for
smart.
some commodities, China is now using their own exchanges to, in some sense, get some control of the price as well, not just the physical commodity, but also on the price. You have the Chinese metal exchanges that are now setting different
Yeah,
prices than
yeah. And
the
silver. Yeah.
The London metal exchanges. Is that also a dynamic that is happening for uranium, or is that
No, no. The uranium has its own strange story about price, but
hmm,
I'll come into that. So
oh,
let's
perfect?
do this one.
Yeah,
Uranium production and reactor requirements for major producing and consuming countries in 2020. This is 6 years old, but it hasn't changed.
mhm,
Look at this. The uranium requirements. What does USA need? They need a lot. Yeah.
yeah,
And what do they produce? Hey, I don't see any
nothing.
yellow. There's nothing there. You see the problem here?
Yeah,
They need something, and they used to get it from Russia. But hey, yeah, we're virtually at war with Russia. So, and there's been a law that you can't import from Russia again. So,
yeah,
where are they going to get their uranium from in America? That's going to be one hell of a problem. So, uh, it also creates opportunities because there are American uranium producers.
hmm, mhm,
Yeah, there's like Alcor or Energy Fuels, who has also have the White Mesa mill. You have to mill the ore. So those stocks already ramped up, but I think there's more upside left. So this is quite interesting. Quite interesting. Okay, this is the fuel cycle. You mine the ore. Yeah, it's milled into yellow cake. This is the yellow stuff. Yellow cake is turned to UO2 and then into gas UF6. Yeah, and the gas is enriched, so you have to enrich it. And the enriched UF6 is converted back into UO2 and made into ceramic fuel pellets. Yeah, and those pellets they ultimately go into those to those pipes and they
yeah.
lower it in the water, and so that's how the power plant works. But this is also a bottleneck. The enrichment of uranium is also a bottleneck for especially the US. Because Russia, and you see that here, Russia controls nearly half of the global uranium enrichment capacity
Mhm.
and was a major source of US fuel in 2023. This is problem right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the definition of problem.
So we have a bottleneck in the mining of it, but also in the refining of it, right?
Yes,
So two major
right.
issues to overcome before
Two
we,
major issues
yeah,
for the West, but especially for the United States.
yeah,
Yeah, those. Yeah, and that's where the opportunity lies in
yeah. It's in fixing those two
my view.
things, and the first person who does that gets extremely rich off of it.
Yeah, yeah, and there are companies that are doing that kind of things,
Yeah,
and their stock ramped up from $2 to 200. Yeah,
right.
and I was too stupid not to buy it, and I looked
Yeah,
at it in 2021 or so. Yeah, it's you can't kiss all the girls, but boy,
could have, should
this was a
have,
bad
huh?
one. Yeah, yeah, should have, would have. Yeah. Yeah. Here we have. Remember the 3 Mile Island accident?
Yep.
Hey, Constellation Energy to restart 3 Mile Island nuclear plant sell the power to Microsoft for AI. So Microsoft is just saying, hey, do you see this bag of money? Here you have it. We want power. Yeah, we need carbon-free baseload power. So the reactor that had this incident in 1997 was reactor 2, unit
Hmm.
2. Okay, unit 1, start it. And we want here, do you have a contract for 20 years
Yeah,
for takeoff agreement? So these guys are not messing around. They have the cash and they don't have the time.
yeah.
So that's an interesting part of the whole thesis.
Yeah, and I like that part of the thesis as well because what we saw in recent years was another industry with a lot of red tape. That was the rocket industry. And Elon Musk just came in there with a whole boatload of cash and a will to change things. And now he's launching rockets. And now, he's launching 16 rockets a month or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah,
And he did
yeah,
that all by himself with the
yeah,
will to do it. So if you have major companies with major amounts of cash, you could move politics in a certain way as well. If there's a big enough will and a big enough bag of cash to do it, so that might actually be a very promising thing.
Yeah, they have the money. They have no compromise, and they push the tempo. Huh? So
yeah, nice.
Interesting. So there's a lot of bullish news. I could have made 24 sheets just with bullish news from uranium. It's ridiculous. I'm running out of paper, really. So you have Microsoft and 3 Mile Island. US have all kind of new laws that favor uranium. But because they have to, because they were reliant on Russia. Life extensions everywhere. Even Germany. I saw a speech of Ursula von der Leyen saying, "Yeah, okay, we halted nuclear energy in Europe, but yeah, that was maybe not such a good idea." Yeah, duh.
And over the past couple of years, the Germans have shut down all of their nuclear plants, right?
Yeah. They are mining brown coal.
Right.
Can you imagine?
Let's shut down the uranium mines and let's start up the coal factories again, huh? Yeah.
Come on. Okay, but in the end, they will
get back.
They will get back. They have to.
Yeah.
Tech uranium companies and producers dominate the market, so you have a lot of those tech uranium who are in SMRs and fuel enrichment. They, if you put your money there in 2020, you would be very rich. But also if you bought Chemical, by the way, the biggest company in the West, in Canada. Big deals for offtake are being made. So China and India are throwing around cash and making long-term offtake agreements with Bannerman, with Kazatomprom, with Chemical. So yeah, that makes me wonder what if they buy up all those pounds, what's left for the rest? Huh? So what will be left for the rest of the fuel buyers?
Yeah.
And I think there will be a musical chair event incoming. I don't know when. It could be 3 years out, 4 years out. I don't know, but I'm going to wait for it. Buy on dips and stay long. And I'm in this market for 6 years. It's been a real pain trade because your portfolio can go down in 1.5 years, like 60% or so. It's really that bad.
Yep.
But then it will go up like 250, or 300 or 400. I'm up like 850% in Chemical.
Yeah.
But I had 50% pullbacks along the way.
Yep.
I know where this is going, and I'm not gonna sell.
That's the unfortunate market that we're in. Extremely volatile. And the musical chair event that is incoming would be the moment where there is simply no more supply, but a lot of demand still from all the mines that are still ongoing.
Yeah, there is always supply. There are always pounds
price
in the market, and there's always some supply. But you can follow the is it RFI, the request for I don't know if RFI is the right phrase.
Right, but there's
RFP, request for proposal.
Right.
So a big utility gets a tender in the market, and you can write in. But if no one writes in, so I'm a Japanese utility, energy utility, and you say, okay, I need like 10 million pounds, and I need it between now and the next 6 years, spread out, and I want to pay like $85. No one is going to react because they want higher prices, or no one can deliver in time.
Right.
So it's a seller's market and not a buyer's market anymore.
Yeah. So people
the
have
sellers
to start
are in
bidding.
control.
Yep.
Yeah, the sellers are in control, and especially I mentioned the old dinosaurs like John Borshoff. He stated also in interviews. He said he has a mustache and just like this. I'm not gonna sell any uranium. The price isn't high enough. We need $200 uranium. So he just sits on his pound and doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
And in the end, someone will come to him and say, "Oh Jesus, man, I can't find uranium anywhere. Do you have some uranium, John? And 200? Yeah, it's fine. I will pay it." So the sellers are in control now.
So the price of uranium really is set in these agreements that people make with each other.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, but that's a different story. You have two kinds of prices in uranium. You have the spot price. You can follow the spot price of uranium, but you also have the term market and the term price. So that are the terms that are being negotiated in the contracts, the long-term contracts. And it's a very weird situation because the term price that comes out in public is the lowest offer made.
Right.
So you are a seller and I'm a buyer, yeah. And I say, okay, Lee, I want to buy uranium for 10 million pounds for 85 pounds of
Yeah.
$85. And you say, no, I need 130. And we negotiate and we settle at 105. You know what goes out into the public? 85.
Right.
That's really strange.
Right. Because that was the lowest that was being
That was the
offered.
lowest. Yeah, that was the lowest. It's really, really strange. So yeah.
And do companies publish the price that they eventually pay for the uranium?
No, because
Right.
because it's all about how do you say it? National security
Right.
stuff like that. So it's not. It's a bit of an opaque situation.
Right.
It's not out in the open.
So there's a little bit
That
of
makes it difficult.
a little bit of a gap between the spot price and the actual offtake prices.
Yeah. And if you have the
Alright.
right context, you
Yeah.
get some information.
Of course.
And
A little
I
bit
know
of
a lot of
insider
people.
trading
So
then.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's yeah. Then you get to hear a bit more.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go on. I have a couple of more sheets.
Yeah.
Nuclear, no-brainer one. So in my opinion, nuclear is a no-brainer. The capacity factor by energy source in 2020, nuclear, 92.5%, and like solar is only online like 35% and wind 35% and solar like 25. So nuclear is always running and it's reliable. Yeah. So that's why it's a no-brainer. And imagine also the size of a nuclear power plant compared to the size of a big wind farm or solar farm. It's so small. Yeah.
And it can be made smaller with the small nuclear, with the modular reactors. Yeah. Like the new technology. Everything that we know about the plants is the technology from like 50 years ago, I guess.
Yeah. Well, it's safer now.
Yeah.
So it's very, very safe, but there are, in my opinion, just too much regulation.
Yeah.
That makes it too slow to build.
Right.
So here is an interesting one. It's from 1999, mind you. Yeah, but it's still valid. The energy density of primary fuels. So here you have dung, straws, wood, coal, oil, natural gas, hydrogen, and then you have nuclear. It's not even on the same chart here.
Yeah.
So why are we messing around with biofuels and all that stuff?
And it's a logarithmic scale
man. Come on.
And this is a logarithmic scale, so like the actual chart would just be too big.
Yeah, it's way up there.
Yeah.
You have to put it in log scale.
Yeah.
Okay. Remember, uranium is and it's always in mining, by the way. But uranium, it really counts for uranium. It's all a story about time and price. For the right price, it has to come online in time. But we are not going to get it online in time. There is too much demand, and the supply will not get there in time. I repeat, it will not get there in time. So that's why I think we're gonna have a musical chair event. It's and I don't know when, but I'm just accumulating on dips and waiting. So here you see this is from Sprott, by the way. In 2025, the supply was 176. I have to pronounce this right. Million pounds, and the demand was 182. Last year. But in 2040, the demand is almost 400 million pounds. And the supply is only up for 40%. So we have this gap to fill. A deficit almost half the demand in 2040. Yeah, and here in small letters says the expected deficit is the equal of 11 times Cigar Lake mines. And Cigar Lake is the biggest mine right now in the world.
Right.
We need 11. We need to find it. We need to build a mine, and we
Yep.
need to
Produce it, enrich it, store it, sell it.
This will
everything.
never happen in time. Never happen in time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna have some kind of squeeze event. Maybe this year, maybe next year. I don't care.
Yeah.
Come
Yeah.
on.
At
And
that
I
point,
was in uranium in
you know.
2020 when the uranium price was at $24 or so.
Mm.
It's now at 85. We have seen 106. I think we will go to 200 to 250 or whatever. Stupid number.
Sounds a lot like the silver prices as well. If you say it like that, we were at 20, then we got to 150. Now we're back at 85-ish.
Yeah.
It's funny how all these markets
kind of comparable with silver, but I like the uranium story more because it has all those
the structural demand of it,
psychology in it, and the fear, and it has all those components. It's hugely interesting.
Yeah.
I think this was the last one. Yeah, and here you have the spot price of uranium.
Yeah.
So yeah, we are at daily. We're gonna go to weekly, and maybe even monthly. We're gonna go way out. So
yeah, I always like to look
big
at
picture
the monthly.
here. Yeah, there you go.
Look at this.
Yeah, this looks like a cup and handle to me.
Yeah.
So we were in 2007, and we had this. As always, it was already going the wrong way, but it was like Fukushima, and it was one disaster here. So we bottomed in 2016, and we had a little bull flag here, and in 2020, okay, yeah, first leg up, bull flag, leg up, poop, okay, but we also had this. Look at this. Yeah,
it's a pretty big correction.
This is in the spot price, eh? This is 43% down in the spot price for like 1.5 years. Imagine what it did to the companies.
Yeah.
They went all down 50, 60%, and everybody was throwing in the towel. Oh, uranium sucks and the trade is over, and no one cares enough, blah, 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 blah. There's so much sentiment in excess.
Of course, it's the same with gold and silver mining equities.
Yeah, if everybody is bearish, I'm starting to buy.
Yeah,
that's what I'm doing. Let's look at the big boys. Yep. So Chemical in Canada, very interesting. We're nearing the peak of this channel here, and if we are breaking out, maybe you can put this one on top, and we will go to, this is ridiculous, like 5,000. We're never going to reach 5,000, in my opinion. But hey, it's measured in dollars. So
what is it now? It's like 140.
114.
Oh, 114.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I bought this at 12.5.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Yeah, and I'm not selling. Yeah. So here's next gen, where we talked about. I bought that at like $1 or so. So
next gen
at 16
energy.
now.
I believe I looked at a company called Next Gen Gold, but I think that is
no, that's not the same. That's a different company. Yeah, that's not even in the same family or so.
No. Okay.
No. And all this also is reaching the top level of this channel. Yeah, so we maybe stall a little bit here and hesitate, but yeah, I think once we break out, we are on a big run again, and we could reach like well, let's see.
Getting near a decision
point. Take this little one, like 60 or so.
Yeah.
Denison.
Yeah, this is a company that I saw in the news. I talked about this in my monthly news review. This is the first company to receive regulatory approval to construct its uranium mine, and they are mining in a very conventional, in a very unconventional way, which means that they're going to be able to mine their deposit pretty cheaply, is what I can tell.
Denison has the Phoenix deposit.
Yeah.
In Saskatchewan, all the big uranium companies in Canada are in the Saskatchewan, in the Athabasca Basin. Yeah,
Right.
that's in the Athabasca Basin. It's like the Saudi Arabia of uranium. It has the highest grades of uranium
Right.
because you can find uranium in America, but the
Mhm.
grades are lower. This is the same story with copper and silver and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Denison is trying to mine uranium through the ISR method instead of open pit.
Right.
And ISR is possible, but it needs a kind of geological system. Yeah?
Mhm.
The ground has to be ready. We have to be good enough to use the ISR method.
Right.
Otherwise, if you can't use ISR, you have to dig it out. You have an open pit mine.
Right.
And ISR is like um, pumping sulfuric acid down, and liquefying the uranium and pumping it back up
Oh,
again.
that's
Yeah.
very interesting.
But it's not in every rock formation it's
Yeah.
possible. Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's that's really interesting. I
and
wanted to make a video soon about the mine and the method of mining because it's so unconventional. I think it will be very interesting
yeah,
to
it's not really unconventional because
right.
in Kazakhstan everybody uses ISR, but it's
Mm.
a different rock formation. In the Athabasca Basin, it's the first company who's trying to do this, and they
Right.
had a demo. It worked out right, but it's still the question if it's scalable, and we have to see the results.
Yeah.
But they are confident. But of course, they are confident because
They're selling stock, so of course they're
what else
confident.
would they say? But
Yeah.
that's it. That's interesting.
All
If
right.
they can make it work, it really be a game changer.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting. Definitely worth doing a video on that. I'm definitely gonna look more into that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very interesting.
And I think a no-brainer also. I'm
Oh
not
yeah,
giving financial advice, but
I know
is
this one.
energy fuels.
Yeah.
It's in America. The chart looks absolutely. This is like chart porn. I mean, come on. We had this bull flag with 1, 2, 3 humps down. You have
Mhm.
to ramp up, and I'm in a monthly. So if I go to weekly here, you
Yeah.
also have a cup and handle here.
Cupping.
Yeah, there's energy fuels. I'm already free riding energy fuels. I maybe sold the half too early.
Mhm.
Yeah, and now I'm thinking, okay, am I going to buy more? I don't know. But this is very well run company, has ties to the American government.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, those are the
this is
companies that
going to
you.
be a big winner.
Yeah,
No
those are
brainer.
the companies that you need in such markets with big connections to
Yeah,
government politicians,
yeah,
people who can
yeah,
bribe whatever politician you
yeah,
need to get the approvals.
yeah,
Unfortunately, that is the world that we live in, but some companies can play it pretty well. So
yeah,
as
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
as I'm
You need the
looking at these
connections.
at these charts, definitely a big move has already happened in all of these stocks. But
Yeah,
right now we're
right.
moving up to like a decision point in all of these stocks, right? Whether we are going to break all of these resistances and move to the next level, or whether we are going to take a little bit longer of a pause if we cannot break through it.
Yeah,
That would be
yeah. The
very
easy money
interesting
has
to.
been made. Eh? So
Yeah,
uranium was like $20
right.
and of $17 in 2016 and $20, 24 when I'm was starting to get interested. So like this one, if you bought a whole lot of energy fuels in March 2020 in the COVID lows, yeah, you would have made a profit of more than 3,000%.
Yeah,
So that's already off the table. But
right.
the question is, are we? Yeah, is this all, or are we going to all-time highs and even
Yeah.
further?
Well,
And
the question is it going to be performing better than the general equity markets and bonds and all of those things? Because eventually, when there's a little bit of turmoil in the world, people are
yeah,
going to want to buy real assets at the end of the day. And I
yeah,
think that
yeah,
a lot
and
of these
you have
projects
to
will be.
keep in mind that this can go down 80%.
Yeah.
This can go down like this here. This was a total pain trade for like how long? 4 years,
Yeah.
going down 70%.
Yep. And they
Yeah,
have to just
waiting,
sit through that.
waiting, waiting, waiting. Yeah,
Yep, buying more on depth. So what I would be very interested to see is the chart of the uranium spot price divided by this stock chart, just to see in what kind of percentage are we talking. Is it valued
I
high
don't know
compared
if I
to?
have it on here, but you.
Because I always
I
like to look at
do.
those for the gold and silver equities as well, and that always gives a really good view of the
Yeah, I could show
stock.
you URNM. That's the ETF.
Ah,
We have
yes.
like two ETFs. That's URA and URNM.
Yep.
And URA is not really a pure play ETF for uranium miners, but URNM is. And this is URNM against the spot price. So
Right.
we had a breakout like here in June 2025, where the uranium miners are starting to overperform the spot price of
Yeah.
uranium itself. So
But we are
we
not.
had
We're not back to
a
the
downturn
2020
here,
levels.
a basing, and now we broke out, and I think we're gonna ramp up to this high here.
Yeah. All right. That's good to
Yeah.
see that it's not near the 2021 highs yet, because that was also a very speculative moment in all
Yeah.
of these commodities.
Yeah.
But there's still
Yeah.
room to even go to that little speculative top that we've
Correct.
had in
Correct.
2021.
If you look at this ratio chart, you still have the feeling, okay, we have more room for upside against the spot price, and I think the
Yeah.
spot price will go to like 200
Yeah.
or 250.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the same story like in gold. If gold goes to $8,000,
Yeah.
look at what the profits of the gold miners will be. And
Yeah.
yeah, they will be lagging, but
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
for long.
That's the chart that I look at every month. It's the gold miners compared to the price of gold. And you see that
Yeah,
there's upside in that market, but then there's also upside in the price of gold. So you have double leverage to the price
yeah,
of gold.
yeah,
And
yeah,
that
yeah,
that is a sort of asymmetry that is very hard to find in the general equity markets. But it is everywhere in the commodity space. It's in
yeah.
uranium. It's probably in oil as well. I haven't looked deeply into oil yet, but it's probably there as well. It's in
Yeah.
silver, it's in copper. It's good
Um,
times are coming.
let's maybe you have some question, but let's finish it off
Yeah.
by looking at this one. This is the Nukes ETF.
Mm-hmm.
And the Nukes ETF is the Range Nuclear Renaissance Index. And that's why all the tech uranium companies are in. And you see this list right here. So LEU like Centrus Energy, I will show it. I will show my biggest mistake
Mm-hmm.
ever. I could have been a millionaire, but I'm not. So hey, but this is the so the tech ETF. So you can also buy this, the Nukes. Yeah, and it's not on the market for that long, for 2024.
2024. Yeah.
But yeah, it's left corner to upper right. Hey,
Right.
and this one, like LEU, look at this. This is Centrus Energy, and this has a monopoly on conversion and enrichment of uranium in the States. So I was looking at this, I think like down here, yeah, this test, and I didn't buy it, but yeah, I was a total idiot because if I did, I had 12,000% gains.
Yeah.
And
Ridiculous
I
amounts.
bought it somewhere here in I think at 37 or so, and it took me
Yeah.
too long, and I had a small position. Like, I don't want it anymore. I'm gonna sell it. Yeah, of course. And then it ramped up, and then it ramped up even more.
Yeah.
So just
Those are the mistakes. Those are the big paying lessons that.
of
that we.
course. It's what it is.
I sold Santa Cruz mining like a couple
Oof.
days before it shot up like 1,000%.
Yep.
So there's always things like this.
Yeah. So in this Nukes ETF, LEU, SP, Rolls Royce. Hey,
Yeah.
Rolls Royce also. Look at this, Rolls Royce. Boom, boom, boom. Maybe a company you heard of, Oklo.
Yep. Oklo mining.
Yeah.
That is also a
Yeah.
gold miner, I think.
No, this is not a gold mine. This is also a SMR company. You have
Oh.
also a company that that has the ticker SMR, nuclear, new scale power.
Oh, these are all the
So
companies
this,
that make the small modular reactors.
yeah,
Right. Okay.
all designing small modular reactors or doing something into fuel enrichment like Light Bridge. And not every one of these are good companies. There are also a lot of how do you call it?
Yeah, a
Yeah,
lot of just
lifestyle
yeah,
companies,
of
and
course.
there's also in the small guys in the mining,
Of course.
the explorers.
And that is why
So
you should watch my videos to find out what the good mines are and to what to
yeah,
know what to look
that's
for.
that's really true. You have to be informed, and
Yeah,
so please, people, if you want to know something about uranium, you can
just do the
really
research.
follow my channel,
The
and I
research.
will tell you which companies were there in 2010 and the 1990s, because those are the real companies.
Yeah.
And now you see new companies. There are some guys who had a tin mine in I don't know where, or a zinc mine, and they are think, okay, zinc is not my story anymore. Let's start a uranium company.
Yep.
Yeah, we put uranium in the name, and then we
There's a lot
get
of
in a
that.
lot of cash.
Yep.
That's how it works in the mining world. So
Yep, that's very true.
please be careful. There's a lot of shenanigans out there. And you have to know the people. You have to know the management. And you have to know the companies.
All right. I think that's
Okay.
that's a good point to wrap it up on right now.
Yeah, I'm talking too long, but hey, I just like the subject so
Yeah,
much. It's
for
so
sure.
interesting.
And there's a lot of
yeah.
things that we didn't cover yet in the uranium market. For instance, the upcoming new trends in the thorium reactors, the molten salt reactors. Maybe that's a different topic for a different day to see how that really works and to get a little bit more into that.
I just it's funny you mentioned. I just made a video about it. It comes out like Wednesday or so.
Oh,
so,
perfect.
yeah,
Everybody,
yeah.
the Value Consultant, go and check it out. Let
Look
the
at it.
people know where to find you and where to find that upcoming video. Because,
Yeah, it's in the. I think it's in the
yes.
screen here up right there. So I think people can see it. So if you look up on my YouTube channel, The Value Consultant, it's a lot of content in Dutch, but I also do interviews with some special people, which I regard highly, and that's in English. And you can follow me on X, ValueCon YouTube, and that's it.
Perfect.
Please, I would really like people to comment on this video. Because it was my first interview as a guest. So did I do stuff wrong? Did I forgot anything? I don't know. Just I'm still learning. I'm turning 50 this year, but hey, you never thought to learn. So please give me some feedback.
Perfect. Thank you so much for the interview, for the time, and for the knowledge. I think this will be extremely interesting. And like the Value Consultant said, please comment on the video what you guys thought of it. I think it went really well, but I would like to see your views on that. And if you guys have any more questions about uranium, post that in the comments, and then the next time you're on, we're gonna be talking about those new questions. Perfect.
Yeah,
I wanna thank you so much, and everybody watching. Thank you so much for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.